Boss battles are meant to be the ultimate challenge, a test of the skills that you've learned up to that point and thus supposed to be experiences that linger on in your memory long after you've felled a mighty beast. The feeling of going toe-to-toe with titanic terrors is exhilarating, but it's an experience only bettered when you discover that you can actually fell this foe with a single well-placed hit. Now, some of these tactics might not be honourable, but for the sheer thrill of the kill, they can't be beat. So with this in mind, I'm Jules for WhatCulture.com, and these are 10 intimidating video game bosses that can be killed with just one hit. Number 10. The End, Metal Gear Solid 3. In classic Kojima fashion, there are multiple ways to tackle the bosses within Metal Gear Solid 3, but the old-timer sniper The End takes the cake when it comes to the inventive options the player is given to kill him. Because while you can take the regular route of having a sniper battle with the old geezer, you can also go into the settings of whatever console you're playing on, move the clock forward a week, reload the save, and watch as he dies of old age. Not that satisfying, but you can do it. However, there's another way you can one-hit kill him way before you even have to worry about facing off against him. Early on in the title, you'll stumble across a cutscene that shows most of the main bosses having a chat, and The End is just sitting over there idle in a wheelchair. If you're quick enough, when this cutscene ends, you can bring up your sniper and squeeze a headshot right in there, beating him hours before you usually would. Take that, Grandad. Number 9. Jiro, Final Fantasy VIII. Jiro, or Gero if you want to get technical about it, is also known as the fake president Dealing, and was a pretty damn terrifying two-stage boss found in Final Fantasy VIII. It's an undead monster that emerges from the corpse of a political imposter, and the only way that players can deal damage to him is to spam him with cure and life spells while every other attack is rendered useless. Pretty intimidating at a glance. Once you get the hang of which attacks you're supposed to use, he's fairly easy. In fact, if you're a clever little swine, you can just flip him the V's and yell, "Oi, chew on this," and you sling a phoenix hook down his ugly mug, which kills him instantly. Or lives him instantly, I'm not entirely sure. Either way, take that, Grandad. Number 8. Iwajira, Borderlands the pre-sequel. The Borderlands series is well known for its love of massive monsters, cramming all of its dankest caves with the stuff that would give H.R. Geiger a nightmare. One such behemoth was Iwajira, in the Borderlands pre-sequel, who could one-shot even high-level players with ease. I mean, it's a beast named and based on Godzilla, so it's going to be a bit of a brute. But just as the pen is mightier than the sword if you stab somebody in the neck with it while they're sleeping, so too is the righteousness of the inflammable shooter Star Shield. This gives a huge damage buff when it's depleted, and when coupled with a melee boost skill tree setup for Nisha, can mean that when the shield drops, you can tap Iwajira and turn him into a beautiful and gory loot pinata. Take that, Bandad! Number 7. Deathel, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. Although it often gets overlooked, The Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening was a pretty damn fine installment in the iconic series, and one of the biggest reasons why a lot of people picked up a Game Boy back in today. Getting to the final screen and facing off against the last boss is an arduous journey, and if you weren't careful, the different forms of Nightmare could make quick work of you. However, if you wanted to embarrass this boss, you could kill it by using a trusty old boomerang and a well-timed shot to the chops. True, you'd need to get through its other forms first, but my god is it funny to take this ugly fella down with a curved stick. Ha ha ha, take that, Grandad. Number 6. Adamantoise, Final Fantasy 15. At the time of its release, this creature sparked rumours of a 2-hour fight, yet if you're smart about it, you can bypass this towering tortoise with a single hit. Introduced with the Chapter 13 DLC, the Ring of Lucio buff gives you the chance to take out any enemy in a single hit. Unfortunately, you have to play around with the RNG game, as well as being pretty high level for this to work, but when it works and you take down this beast with a single blow, it feels unbelievably satisfying. Take that, Gland Lad! Number 5. Bowser, Super Mario Bros. One of the original one-hit kill bosses, taking out Bowser at the end of the first Super Mario Bros. Didn't require any major test of might, but simply the ability to jump and pick up an axe, or kick it over, I guess. I mean, it could be argued that you don't hit him at all, but rather the stage. But we're including it in this list because, my god, let me have some fun once in a while. Although it seems like an obvious solution now, back in the day it wasn't entirely clear of what you were supposed to do. Still, now everyone knows how to quickly get through this final trial, to the point where the battle itself has been remixed multiple times in the likes of New Super Mario Bros. In order to keep the players on their toes. Take that, Bland Brad! Number 4. The Electrocutioner, Batman Arkham Origins. For all the missteps of Origins, the one thing it did well, for the most part at least, was the boss battles. And the one encounter above all that without a doubt had you holding together your bat sides from splitting apart from laughter was this guy, the Electrocutioner. Now, this fella is a 2-bit baddie at the best of times, but the game does such a good job of hyping up his intentions before the fight starts that you think to yourself, okay, fine, we're gonna have a little showdown, are we? You start planning your tactics. You think to yourself, okay, cool, he's got electricity, so maybe I can stun him with this and then leap over on that, and then I can use his thug mates as a shield, or I could just punch him once in the face. Brilliant. In hindsight, it can be seen as a bit underwhelming, but for the first time that you did this, it was hilarious and a great way to subvert expectations. Take that, Bland Blab! Number 3. Mysterio SpiderMan 2. Being pretty fragile when it comes to fisticuffs, it's the smoke and mirrors fighting style that have made Mysterio such a formidable foe. But when you come face to face with him in the tie into Sam Raimi's second movie, it seems as though for once the rogue has the bark to back up his bite. Coming in with 5 huge health bars, it seems that you're going to be bashing away at him for a long time to get his HP down to 0. But like everything else related to the villain, this huge pool of health is just a mere trick to intimidate you, and it only takes one hit to deplete them all in one big go. Consequently, all it takes is a limp slap to the face to turn him into a sniveling mess on the floor, a far cry from the imposing figure that he looked like at the start of the battle. Haha, take that, man, cad! Number 2. Ancient Wyvern, Dark Souls 3. An optional boss found on Archdragon Peak in Dark Souls 3, the Ancient Wyvern is one of the largest and most imposing enemies in the entire series. As you try to chip away at its ankles, you begin to realize that this is never going to work, and unless your head is made of pig iron, you're going to try and run past it or avoid him for a little while. In truth, fighting to get up to a vantage point above the beast is the hardest part, with extendo non-friendos who want to snuff out your Tinder quicker than my attempts at dating filling the path. However, if you make it past all of these snicker snags, you get to drop on its bonds and kill the Wyvern in one hit. It's not really in keeping with the Dark Souls ethos, but I commend FromSoft for trying something new, and the Nameless King kinda, definitely 100% made up for it later. Ha ha ha, take that, Slan lad. And number 1, Sans, Undertale. Oh, look, I'm putting Undertale at number 1. Oh, I must be a cock-edgelord who only eats cress and thinks Rick and Morty is deep. Yeah, well, hurtful truths aside, the fight with Sans is truly a terrifying prospect. Bombarding you with attacks that take up the entire screen, the boss can deplete your health bar in an instant if you don't have your wits about you. And it's almost certain that you're going to have to die over and over again before you can get the hang of his patterns. Fortunately, despite being so formidable on the offense, he's extremely fragile when you do actually get the opportunity to attack, and will go down in one hit once you drag your cursor over to the fight command. Still, actually getting to the point where an attack is viable is not easy, and it's probably far more effort than it's worth. But anyway, take that, soy cuck.